for the first time. So if anyone watching, let me know where you're watching from. I'm just curious. This is kind of a test version as well. What's up, everyone? Hey, Akash. Doing good, buddy. How are you? Let me know if my voice is clear because I'm trying a different platform for the first time. Uh, Live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, hey, Preet, how are you? Hey, Abhishek, welcome, welcome. So, I know a lot of you guys have so many questions regarding first time homebuyer. I saw live on Instagram. Awesome. Here on live. Sounds good on YouTube. Perfect. Anyone joining live from Instagram, please let me know how is it audio and video. Anyone joining on Facebook, let me know as well. Just curious. So today I thought I would briefly talk about where are we heading with this market, because I know so many people asking me, what do you think about the market? What's going to happen in next 2 months, next 3 months? What are your thoughts? So that's a common question I got nowadays. Awesome. Just so curious, anyone live on Instagram? Anyone watching me live on Instagram? Just curious to see how is it there. Yeah, and also introduce yourself. Tell me where you're joining from. Thank you for joining, first of all. So, going back to the topic, the Canada real estate market update. I've been, investing big time. I want to see your reviews. You're putting me on a really tough spot, Nikhil. So again, I'm not really a big bank or big. I don't have a huge detailed analysis about market. I'm a simple guy. I look for what's happening in the local market because, when you look at the Canada market in general, from starting from RBC and all these big banks and CMHC, all the, big guys predicting there will be a drop of 10 to 15%. That's their prediction. Again, I think we might have that prediction. I believe that. But we have to nail it down to which city. So, for example, if it's a bigger cities like Toronto, Vancouver, any bigger cities, I think will have that impact because, all of a sudden people, cannot pay their mortgages because the mortgage deferrals are for ending. At least the Canada government, they extended the payments, but once that comes to an end, and if the COVID situation, so now they are again back to square one where they're trying to shut down for next 30 days. So that could happen in the bigger cities, but in the smaller cities like Windsor, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to impact that much because again, yes, we do have people who are working, who are taking, deferral options, who are taking government money for, surviving, who doesn't have job, but it's not like heavy economically solid city. It's most like people who are, retired, people who are like, from working in different cities, working from home, all those things. So when it comes to specific city location, actually now people from bigger towns who are selling their properties coming to smaller towns. So I think it's it's not it might not impact that much on smaller cities. That's my prediction. Again, I could be wrong, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? So let me see here. People moving from Toronto will move back if it is due to work from home. Yes, I think it's work from home is becoming real. A lot of companies actually announced they can work from home permanently because they see that the productivity is still there. People are still doing well, even working from home. The action of market on 2028 in Canada, if you know. I read a little bit about 28 market. So yes, Windsor, Canada, overall Canada suffered. Actually, at that time, Windsor suffered a lot, crazily, because Windsor was like heavy automotive industry based city at that point, even till the date, but it's not crazy as much as before. And all of a sudden, the automotive industry in Detroit busted. So Windsor's and Detroit suffered for like 8 years. So we are just coming back from recovery. Like till 2015-16, Windsor was in a bad situation in terms of economy. So yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen, but that's my feeling. But I would really pay less attention on what's going to happen. I'll keep an eye. I'll see what's going to happen in Windsor, what's going to happen in bigger cities. But if I'm a first-time investor or first-time buyer, I would be looking for cash flowing properties. That's a reason why you need to look for cash flowing properties, especially if you're investing or if you're investing heavily. Look for cash flowing properties, because if something goes wrong, if there is a small correction, now you can still hold the property. So let me see. Even if the market goes down by 10-15%, most likely it will go up again 2 to 3 years. I feel the same. At least in Windsor, I think for another 2 to 3 years, for sure, most likely it can go up. Many people moving from Toronto. Yes, that's very true. We have, like in Windsor, from last 2 to 3 years, there is at least 5% growth in population. That's crazy. Like the overall Canada growth, out of the total growth, Windsor is getting 5% of it, which is like, for a smaller city like this, is heavy. I came to Windsor like in 2014. Especially like immigrant population was not that much at that point. Now I see like Indian kids everywhere, a lot of immigrants everywhere. So it's definitely, the population is growing in Windsor. So which is a good sign, which is a good sign for investors or even homeowners, because now you're sitting on appreciation and your rental properties are always tenanted. Noreen. Hi Aditya, I'm from Windsor. Oops, where did my comment go? I'm from Windsor. Is it a good time to buy a house here, or should I wait for 2020? Noreen, it really depends on your personal financial situation. Here's one thing I would say, as a buyer, like I always look for a good opportunity, good deal. If the deal presents, I always buy. I don't wait for perfect time, and I don't believe in perfect time. At least that's my personal opinion. Here is the reason. Like there is a saying, great saying that always, I always keep reminding myself this. Always the best time to buy real estate was 5 years ago, and the second best time is now. So, because especially if you're a first-time buyer or first-time investor, where is your rent going and what you're buying? Don't over leverage, but buy something that you can afford, even something goes wrong. That's what I would say. Like if you're renting at $1,800 or $1,500, now if you buy a property, let's say in Windsor, in an average rental neighborhood like Walkerville area or South Central, you can find a decent single family home for $300, 300,000 or less, which means your mortgage is less than $1,500. So no matter what happens to the economy, you have to live somewhere and you have to pay the same amount. So why not buy a house? Now, instead of paying your rent, someone else taking that mortgage pay down advantage, you're taking for yourself. So I would say look for the right deal, buy anytime when the deal presents, especially if you're financially qualified. For example, if you have a job, if you have down payment ready, because if market goes wrong or if something goes wrong, if you lose your job, knock the wood, that would not happen. But if that happens, now all of a sudden you cannot qualify for a mortgage. So waiting for the right time, I don't believe in it. TJ, thank you for the thumbs up. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I love to see the thumbs up anywhere. Matter of fact, love to see if the information that you're getting from my channel, if you appreciate it, show me that by hitting that thumbs up button and a subscribe button. That helps the channel to put this content in front of many potential people who might wants to learn. Love from Scarborough. Thank you, Lovepreet. Appreciate that. What are your thoughts about pre-construction? Okay, that's a good topic. I'll talk about it. One second. Let me look at the other comments and then come back to that one. Regarding real estate cash flow, is it majorly because of student rental or are there any other large segment? Hey Nahar, not just the student rental. The cash flow is also in the family rentals too. You can find a lot of family rentals on single families or multi-families where families would like to live, or couple or single guys who is working, they want one bedroom unit. So apartment buildings where multiple units or fourplexes or duplexes. So cash flow in residential student rental or residential family rentals. So it's either. Right now, student rental is a great time to buy because there is low demand in student rental area because of the vacancy rate. So student rental currently is a little bit of a high vacancy compared to family rentals. Hey Ram, is it still a good idea to invest in Windsor at this times? Yes, Ram, without any doubt. I'm very optimistic about Windsor market at the moment because still you can cash flow. Still, Windsor is one of the few cities that is appreciating crazily. At the same time, you can still find cash flow properties. So yes, it's still a good time to buy, but don't buy emotionally, buy with a logical, do the numbers. Make sure you buy the property that makes sense in terms of numbers. Anosha, thank you for the thumbs up. Are good deals available on MLS or have to look for an off-market deal? Zishan, I would say keep an eye on both always. I find deals on the market, off the market. And by the way, I have a lot of off-market deals right now. So guys, anyone seriously looking for duplexes who are looking for single families that are cash flowing. So if you want something need cash flow, or if you're looking to value adding deals, reach out to me. DM me if you're on Instagram. DM me on Instagram with your full name and email address. Maybe we will connect. If you're on YouTube, DM me on Facebook or Instagram. My DM handle on Facebook and Instagram, I'm going to type it in there, Aditya Kumar Soma, both on Facebook, Instagram, and I think those are the two platforms I'm heavy on. So going back to the questions, M, what's your name? Hi, I'm looking to buy my first investment property in Windsor. I only have 30K cash saved and I'm able to do 5% down. It has to be primary residence. So good question, M. It doesn't have to be primary resident, but you need to show such a way that it's a primary resident. It's a tricky one. So right now, actually, we got we have a property, a duplex on contract for one of my client right now. We are actually, he got a approval actually today from the bank for 5% down. Here's his situation. He lives in Toronto and he works in IT. He and his wife both work in IT, so they can show a letter saying that they are working from home and they want to use this house for primary residence. So that's the story. Again, that's their intention. So now CMHC looks at the whole intention and their profile. If they feel that sounds genuine, they'll approve you for 5% down. So that means you can. And thank God, my client got the approval. It's a duplex, currently vacant. Another thing, very important thing is you need to have one unit vacant upon closing, or else then they consider it as a rental property. You're trying to get into an investment. So your story does matter, and your mortgage agent have to be creative enough to put the story in a right way, show that your intention is to buy in. Then you would qualify for 5% down. If you're serious, if you want to need a help, DM me on Instagram. We'll schedule a 30 minutes call with me. We can go more about it to see how we can help you. What is cheaper at good neighborhood in Windsor to buy? Cheaper at good neighborhoods. Still, I would say it's West Windsor. My favorite one, Sandwich Town. Still Central Windsor. That's another thing. Downtown area, it's coming up still cheaper, and it's still a lot of room to growth. Many people overlook because it looks ugly. It looks, kind of dead, but so much city is putting so much grants for bigger developers to, take advantage and improve that downtown area. So I think downtown, that area would come quite drastically. And another pocket that I just bought my 7th property. If you haven't seen the video, it's in if you go onto my channel, YouTube channel, you'll see my 7th property video, where it's a nice single family in a little villages. It's in East Windsor, that pocket where you can buy properties under 300 for a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and nice single family houses. So those are the neighborhoods I would say nice, still cheaper in Windsor. Still that can make good cash flow. Also, when viewing a home, do you view what you like first, then put an offer to a home, have an home inspector or contractor to home view the house? Yum, bro, you have to put your name. I have to say bro or sister, I don't know. Put your name so I can tell your name. So again, it's case by case. Always, if you're out of town, if you're working with a realtor, if you're working with our team, let's say for our buyers, we do a video tour. So that means we do pre-inspection by us first, like that's a first inspection, because we view a lot of properties. We know what's the basic things are. And then if there is an offer date, do a pre-inspection. If for sure this property gonna have a multiple bidding wars, then get a pre-inspection. But if there is no offer date, they are just looking at the offers as they come, then make a conditional offer. Why do you want to waste your money, right? Be practical. And then once you have it on contract, then take the inspector, then take the contractor. I have around 150,000 home equity left, Ram. So what do you think if I can invest in Windsor for good cash flow? If you have 150, I would go for multifamily. Multifamily is the best way where you can build your wealth. Make sure, do the numbers, look for the property. But if you want to talk one-on-one, I have my website there. I'm going to put it in once again, where there is my calendar link. Schedule a call with me. We can talk more. There are multiple ways you can invest, but personally, multiple units is the best way, because even if one unit is vacant, you still have income to cover your expenses. So you don't have to be dependent on one specific tenant. Okay, so where did I left? Okay, Ram, and DM'd you on AG yesterday regarding a phone call with you. If I haven't, probably generally it takes me sometimes 24 to 48 hours to get back. If I haven't, I will respond you exactly what I was thinking. I'm not sure which area do you think off market deals in Windsor, near university or any other areas. I have a couple of deals in Walkerville area. One is actually kind of South Windsor. So if you're interested, DM me. If you have, I think you have my number. So text me, remind me, or not today, maybe tomorrow. But if but they won't find out there is two people renting in the property. Again, that's what I said. When you're looking at the duplex, let's say you're looking at a duplex, you want to buy with 5% down, and you're living in Toronto. You want to make sure on the offer you're not assuming all the tenants. If you're assuming all the tenants, that means it's a big red flag for CMHC. So that's where you need a proper realtor's help. If you're looking in Windsor, reach out to us. We did that hundreds of times, and I purchased for myself. So yeah, just make sure you're not assuming all tenants. If you're assuming all tenants, that's a red flag for CMHC, and your intentions are wrong. If they're wrong, they don't lend you. And once the transaction is closed, your intentions can change. If you want to move in or if you don't move in, no one's going to care. All they care is you're paying their monthly mortgage payment on time or not. If you don't, then that's when they care again. So how about second property? Can I do 5% down and say I'm moving there? If you already have 5% down, if you're now saying that another property for 5% down, there are so many red flags. So they're going to go through so many things. Maybe they might want you to refinance your first property where to have the 20% equity in it and then go for the second one. Again, the story does matter a lot. So what story you're going to give them? For example, the house I'm living in right now, I had 5% down for my first property, and even this property I paid 5% down. So when I moved into this property, they asked me to refinance, like have 20% equity on that property. And they approved me on this one because the other one was a duplex. This one is a single family in a better neighborhood. So that's the story. I said, I don't want to live with my tenants anymore. I want to have my own house. And they agreed for it. So really it depends on what story you're going to tell. Which banks give a mortgage easily for 20% down? If you have a good profile, any bank, most of the lenders will lend you for 20% down if you have a good credit score and you have a income to debt ratio properly. But easiness is really depend on your profile. That's why I would not approach the bank specifically. I would approach the mortgage broker, so that broker knows based on your profile, because every individual profile is different. I cannot really talk on your behalf. For example, when I'm buying my first property, my banking was with RBC. All I know was RBC. I just went with RBC, and then RBC stopped lending me because they said you're buying too much within short period. Even though your income to debt ratio works, I don't want to lend you. And then I contacted my mortgage broker. That's when he got me into CABC. So CABC was lending me for 3 more properties. So it really depends on your personal situation, brother. What are your thoughts on Hamilton? LRJD. Sorry, brother. I don't know much about Hamilton area. So I don't know. I don't want to comment on the locations that I'm not much familiar with. All I know is Hamilton is growing because of the ripple effect of GTA. Because Hamilton is just after GTA. So GTA became so crowded and so expensive, slowly people moving out. So it's like a ripple effect. Obviously that ripple effect is on any cities that are afterwards. So if you can find a cash flow property, of course. COVID affects the rental market in Windsor. Is it still the same? Good question, Anusha. It affected the student rental market, but family, man, it's the same. Actually, it's even more crazy. Because of the COVID, Windsor market got more popularity because people who are working from home are moving to Windsor. So just DM you again. Awesome. M Ray. Finally, thanks. Okay, Ray. I'll watch out for the DM. I'll respond to you after the live or tomorrow. Uh, Andrews, hi Aditya, would you say I get a 200K mortgage if I have 40K per year? Man, it's a very hard question to answer because what expenses you have, I don't know. How many car payments you have, how many credit cards, how much balance in your credit card, do you have, how much is your credit history? So many things. But generally, if you have 20% down, most likely, if it's a rental property, because you have income coming in from that property, there are lenders who lend based on the income of the property. Reach out to the right mortgage agent. If you're looking in Windsor, reach out to us. We will hook you up with the right lender. Give your cell phone. Ram, DM me on Instagram. Sorry, I cannot put it in here. If I put, I cannot work because phone will keep ringing. I don't want to be unproductive. So please DM me if you're looking for investing in Windsor or schedule a call with me. I have my website there. If you're looking, if you're specifically looking in Windsor, then only schedule a call with me or DM me. I'll give you the number personally. I'll talk to you in person, private when you're free about it. Awesome, for sure. Arthur, is it hard to get a double mortgage if previous property is on rent and steady cash flow through rent for 2 years is income? So yes, they do look at that. That's definitely a bonus because now your income to debt ratio is not going down because you have whatever the income you're making personally and plus this property income is added to your income. So even though you have debt, that mortgage amount for that particular first property that you have, that's your debt. And the income from that property adds your personal income. So all of a sudden your debt ratio is not changing much, especially if it's cash flowing. Maybe actually your income to income debt ratio will get better. That means your qualification might go up if you have a good cash flow. But again, that's a very specific question where I would say, like, I'll sit with the mortgage broker. Hey, tell me exactly what's my current situation. How much would I qualify for? Because mortgage broker comes very handy, especially investors. Don't work with banks, work with a mortgage broker so that you have a clear profile with them. When you have a deal come up, they know, they have your profile, they'll respond you quickly. And they have different lenders, so they know different lenders have different criteria that will help investors. In general, have a mortgage broker in hand. My man, Johan. Hey, Johan. How much cash flow can I expect? Ram, it's really hard. That's good. It's good we talk in private because I can tell you many different scenarios. It's a fun thing. Let me do a fun activity. Let's say you buy one property for 150,000. Of course, it's little hard to buy 150. Let's say 200 to 250. So that means you take half mortgage and half pay cash. So now you might be able to make 800, 500, 600 cash flow because you have only small mortgage and property tax and insurance. So you'll get at least 1600 income on that property. So you're at 600 or 800 cash flow. Now you leverage into, let's say you buy a duplex. Let's say the duplex is 350,000. So you pay 50,000, 150. You have a mortgage for 150, and the duplex is making, let's say, 2,500. So you have a 1,500 expenses and then $1,000 cash flow. Boom. So from 500 to $1,000. Now let's say you have a fourplex. Now the fourplex, let's say 600,000. So you pay 150,000 and you have a mortgage for 450. Now you have an income, let's say 4,000 per month, and you have expenses for 3,000, and you still have same cash flow 1,000, but you are making more income in terms of mortgage pay down because your mortgage is paying by someone else. That's the power of leverage. But again, it depends on where you are with your life financial goals. So I'm young. I'm still 30. I still have another 20 years of working life. That means I'll work for next 20 years for sure in a different forms. So that means I'll be making active income and I would prefer leverage my money. But if you're in 50s or 60s, you don't want to leverage that much. You just want to, pay down your mortgage and have even prefer to have maybe $2,000 cash flow, but peace of mind, no mortgage, no debt, nothing. Then that's awesome. So you go for $1,000 cash flow. So it really depends on where you are. Mike, where is the chat and video? Oh, Mike, I'll get it. It's in my list, but it still did not hit the priority levels. So, man, it's super crazy busy for the last few months. But I promise, probably next year beginning. Rakesh, are you familiar with KW? I assume it's the same effect as Hamilton. What's KW? KW. What's the city? KW. Can you tell me full form? Kingsville. No, not Kingsville. Sorry, brother. I haven't heard KW. Oh, Kitchener-Waterloo. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. The only problem with those bigger cities, it's the cost of entry. Especially if you're a first-time investor, you're not sitting with a bigger money. That's where cities like Windsor is a great place. But if you have solid cash, if you have solid income that you're making from your personal, whatever the current active side, bigger cities, great, because they're economically solid. Just the cost of entry is the thing that I see, and cash flowing is another thing. But again, if you're making solid income, then cash flow might be your least concern. Prevu, how safe is to invest in Windsor market when the effect that is doesn't have a big industrial area? So here's the thing. Yes, Windsor market, the big thing is there are people looking to rent. The vacancy rate is low. And even in the worst market, for example, in 2008, that was one of the worst time in Windsor market. I think vacancy rate was 12%. That means if you have 10 units, you have 2 units, you can expect 2 units to be vacant. That means if you have a cash flowing property, if you have other 8 units making cash flow, it might not be impacting you that much. So that's one thing I really look for is cash flow. For me, cash flow is a big important factor because I don't have a parents or family who are sitting on pile of cash. Pretty much whatever the money I make and whatever the money my properties make are my source of income. So that means if something goes wrong with me or my property, I don't have income to pay that mortgage. So that's why I look for cash flow properties. Any mortgage broker other than Mortgage Alliance? I don't know Mortgage Alliance. I have other brokers. Yeah, I definitely have other brokers. DM me on Instagram. Land purchase or built house? What is better? Samrat. Land purchase or built house? Pretty much you're doing the same thing. Oh, built house, you mean resale house, already built. Land purchase, obviously it's a different cow. You need a good amount of money. If you have money, it's a different game that I haven't got into. But if you're starting like me with less money and all those things, resale is the best place because resale you can buy for less price. You can quick exit easily. You can exit multiple ways. You can refinance. You can sell. Everything is quicker. Whereas land, new constructions, they're pretty time taking. Actually, sorry, I think someone asked me about pre-constructions in the beginning and I kind of off track from there. So let me talk about the pre-construction. So if you buy the right type of pre-constructions, it's a good one, depending on where you're standing. For example, I haven't disclosed, I'm going to disclose in this video, but I'm going to make another video. I actually booked a pre-construction. My 8th property, I booked a pre-construction. A detached home in Paris. So why I bought it? Here is the reasons. First of all, my closing is in 2022. So 2 years away from now. That means I don't need to put a mortgage right now. Number one. Number two, that area probably maybe can appreciate in next 2 years better than other neighborhoods. I don't know. I'm just betting. So if you want to bet, if you have money, you don't want to do anything about it. So I have this extra cash because I'm a sales agent, real estate agent, where I get for every transaction, I get HST. So that HST should be in my account and paid back to the government again at the time of taxes. So that money, anyways, I have to come up with. So that means every year I'll have some HST put aside. So I thought, instead of putting aside, I'll just put it in a pre-construction where maybe once my property appreciates, I'll just assign the sale and I don't even bother taking this, position. So that's my plan on that particular one because I have some cash sitting aside. So if that's a part, pre-construction is a good one because one, you don't have to have a mortgage right away. That means your income debt ratio is not changing at the moment. Two, you have extra cash sitting in. Three, you don't want to do anything about it. So for me, I want to do only one project at a time. That way I can do more effectively. So right now I have two projects, active projects going on. So that means I don't want to take another active project to do renovations and all those things. I have my 6-unit building going on. I have my single family that I bought, 7th property is going on. So for me, it really made sense to book a pre-construction because at least I'm betting a little bit on the appreciation, but I'll come to another point where I love cash flow. And actually the pre-construction also, I didn't go for condo. I hate condos. Again, whoever have a different perspective, for some reason, I hate condos. That doesn't make cash flow because I cannot control. I don't have the land and the condo fees, I cannot control it. So I booked for pre-construction on a detached home. That is 2,000 square feet house. So that I can rent out the main floor, 2,000 square feet. I will get at least $2,000. And then lower unit, if I spend another 50,000 or 100,000, I can make another legal suite. Now I can break even for that 600,000. I got it for 620,000. So that made sense to me. So that's my opinion on pre-construction. Depends on specific scenario where you're sitting. But the downside of pre-construction, you cannot access your money for 2 years. You cannot do anything about it. All you can do is just sit on it until it appreciates. If it appreciates, then you can assign the clause. Again, make sure you carefully look for the assignment clause and you can sell it to someone. That clause. So just your purchase agreement. You don't have the property yet. You can just sell your the contract to someone else. So that means your money can sit a little longer on the pre-construction. So that's the downside. And the second downside is obviously you don't have any income coming in until you take the position. That means your 60,000 literally dead until that time. So if you have money that can be dead, then go for the pre-construction. No problem. Kitchener-Waterloo, yes, I think I just answered about Kitchener-Waterloo. Marvick, hello, hey Marvick, your thoughts on pre-construction? Yep, I just answered. Is it easy to rent out family in Windsor with good cash flow with put 10% down payment? Yes, you can make cash flow, but when you're putting less than 20% down, maybe you will break even with single family. The reason I say that, you're paying you're already leveraging heavily, and on top of that you have CMHC, which pays you extra payment, so you have extra $100 at least. So but you can still find cash flow properties. Which areas are good for investing in Windsor steady flow besides student rental? I think I answered that. Is Windsor still a hot market? Multiple offers on homes? Yes, Josh, still a hot market. Maybe not in student rental. Student rental, there are properties sitting for more than 30-40 days. But single families, the family area, multifamilies, duplexes, small multifamilies, yes, same thing. Where do you book your pre-construction? Sorry, I did not get it. Is it close to Windsor? Nope, it's not in Windsor. It's close to Toronto. Paris, he said. Yes, that's right. Is it good to buy a duplex for a BRRRR strategy or buy a single family house to convert into a duplex and then BRRRR it? Pretty good question, actually. Great question. So single families are great for BRRRR number one reason is you can get vacant position easily. Duplexes, existing duplexes, if you can get a vacancy, like vacant property, it's a great one because you can right away do the renovations and you can rent out, you can get cash flow and all those things. But if you cannot get vacant properties, then single families make more sense because it's quicker. Duplex conversions, that's also a great strategy for borrowing. What I really love about duplex conversions is you can find a nice location like South Windsor, East Windsor, like Savio, my good friend who does all these BOR strategies. The biggest thing is you find a good single families in a good neighborhoods, like above average neighborhoods. Now you make that a cash cow by using this BOR strategy. Maybe you might not be able to pull all the money out, but it's a good cash flow property. Even if you left with like 10-20% money into the deal, still it's a great location. So for long-term investors, that's a great strategy. But if you want to pull most of your money out, maybe single families in a below average or average neighborhoods is easier, quicker. So that's my thoughts. Ray, what returns do you expect on a 5% down for a multifamily? So I don't look for a specific type of returns like 20%, 20%, 30%. That doesn't make sense to me. I look for cash flowing properties because percentage can change. Appreciation happens right now, happening 15, 16, 70% appreciation. And mortgage pay down depend on what's your mortgage amount. And then value adding, that's another returns. So I would look for cash flowing properties. My strategy, at least on the active side, I want to look for a property that needs some value, like, needs some painting or the lipstick work, all the basic things. Even if I don't mind adding new kitchen, new washroom and all those things, and then pull the money out. That's my strategy. That way, at least maximum money. Sometimes I might not be able to pull all the money out, but majority, even if I can pull 80% money out, I'm good. And if the property makes cash flow after that, like even at least $100, I'm happy. That's my strategy. How do I get rich? Please tell me. Paranormal. How do I get rich? Oh, buddy. That's a very, very tough question and a long answer. Buy one property at a time. Make money. Make active money. Slowly put into real estate. I laugh, but I want to seriously give you an answer. I know I'm in your shoe 5-6 years ago, 4 years ago. One step at a time. Best advice that I got was make as much as money active income. Whether you do sales, whether you do job, or whether you do freelancing, whatever you do, make a lot of money active and buy passive income properties, investment properties. That's the best way to get rich. But you won't get rich like within 1 year, 2 years, unless you find a great company, unless you have some great ideas that you can work on. That's a whole different ball game. I'm a common guy. If you're like me, a normal, simple, no extra activities, like no special talents. I would put it that way. If you're a musician, go become a best musician, make money, and then put it into multifamilies, invest, buy bigger families. But if you're a normal guy like me, going back to make active money as much as possible. And when you have money, don't spend on luxury things. Go buy real estate. Buy cash flowing real estate, one at a time. So that's what I'm doing. My goal right now is to buy at least one property in every 6 months. I'll buy one property, add some value and sit on it. Buy some property, add some value and sit on it. So right now, I'm going to soon make a video. I've been doing this for, I bought my first property in 2017. I'm close to a millionaire. I think I am a millionaire in terms of American status. So I have to put it in the right paper, but it's doable. I was able to do it in 3 years. Okay, so let's go back to the questions here. Get rich is done, 10% return on cash you put down. Yeah, as I said, like again, if I'm putting 20% down, If I have to 40,000, if I can make 10,000 a year, that's awesome. Oh, sorry, that's 25% return. That's a lot. Yeah, if I put $40,000, if I can make $4,000 cash flow, that's great. It's very good cash flow. But I would be even happy to have, if it's like 40,000 investment, and if the property is making $100 cash flow after paying my mortgage, after paying all my expenses, $100 per month, $1,200 per year. And if I already did some value, like, value adding, pulled my money out in first year, I am still happy because, as I said, I don't have much money left in the deal. So that means my cash on return is more. What's up? You're a big fan here. You're a big fan. Hey, thank you, brother. What's up? What's up? Jerry, how many people are there in Windsor after a great leap up of property price? It seems Windsor is not a good place to invest. Great leap up the property. Buddy, please use some simple language. English is not my first language, brother. I'm an Indian. I can speak Hindi. हिंदी में बात करेंगे कितने देर भी तेलुगु I speak Telugu नमस्कार तेलुगु माట్లాడదాం English some heavy words try to avoid please simple words so let me my understanding is how many people are there in Windsor. There are a lot of people, more than 350,000 after great leap up. What do you mean by leap up of the property price? It seems Windsor is not a good place to invest. So Windsor still you can find cash flowing good properties. So unless you can find cash flowing properties, I feel Windsor is still good place to invest. That's my opinion, honest, solid opinion. That's why I'm still buying in Windsor. Do you have income to budget ratio when buying a house? Income to budget ratio when buying a house? You mean cash flow analysis Excel sheet? I do. DM me. Harry Gill, how long it will take to buy a house? Sometimes it will take just one day. In the weekend, my client, we actually like spoke on the call first. I put them in contact with a mortgage broker, and then like I gathered all the specific requirements what they're looking for, and I set them up with the property listings and all the emails. And then we were waiting for pre-approval. We got the pre-approval. I scheduled like 15 properties or something like that in the weekend. One day, boom, pretty much after looking all the properties, they really liked one property, done. They got it. We got the pre-approval, we did a pre-inspection on the same time, and cash offer, done deal. So sometimes it could take just few hours. It really depends on how clear you with your goals, and it really depends on how much ready you are with your finances. It depends on those things, and depends on how quickly you can take actions. That's another thing. Andres, how much have rents gone up during the last year? Probably I would say during last year till this year, I don't think that much. But if you ask me for last 3 years, yes, there is a lot of increase. But last 1 year, maybe $100. That's not that much. Rakesh, how's part from banks or brokers telling you the limit based on the income profile? Yeah, I mean, so that one, income to debt ratio. I don't really calculate myself. I just rely on the mortgage. I'm a lazy asshole, man. I don't have patience to build an app for myself. I just go online, or I don't even look online. I'll just go talk to my mortgage broker. He has my profile. He tell me, I'll give him if I'm interested in a property, I send him my property. Hey, tell me if I would qualify for this property. If this income, this is the income from the property. This is my income, because he already have my profile. He'll tell me, because it's a complicated numbers. The numbers always change. Your credit balance always change. Your car payments. If you add additional things, so maybe I'm pretty sure there might be some app online. I don't have one. Sorry, search online. If you have your own corporation making around 80 to 100K a year, only have about couple of months of income to show the bank, is it still easy to get bigger loans for the small down payment? Is it easy to get bigger loans for small down payment? So corporation is a whole different thing. If you're self-employed, then you most of the lenders need 1 or 2 years, three for general, to show that your corporation is making income. If you want to buy on that corporation or self-employed income. But bigger loans, it really depends on how much expenses you have. Man, I would say sit with a mortgage guy. Go sit with a mortgage guy and let him tell you what is your financial situation. If he tells you no, go sit with another person. Get an answer, yes, that whatever you're looking for, instead of general question and answers. I would rather save time and get clear answers from that person. Thank you. Is Windsor the right place to buy a house nowadays? Yes, sir. 100%. I still feel Windsor has a lot more to catch up with. At least I feel personally Windsor is still good for next 2 to 3 years. Okay, so looks like that's all we have for now. Did I miss any questions? I think we are good for today. I'm gonna stay for another 2 minutes. Let me know if I miss any questions. If not, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm glad to see so many people being actively asking questions. Oh, looks like I missed one question here. Gary, sorry, Gary, do you suggest buying brand new houses from builder or older houses that have on the market for a few years? I'm looking for second property as a couple. So that really depends on personal choice. If you're looking to buy for yourself, again, you and your wife need to love it, right? If you're asking in terms of investment, then I would say new build construction. If you have some other active income that you're making solidly, new build, you're paying the market value. So that means you're not getting any discounts. Whereas resale, if you can do something to the property and add the value to the property, increase the value of your property. So that means you can make some money there. But if you're asking for primary use, personal use, that really depends on you and your wife opinion, decision on what you're comfortable to live with. Because now my wife started to say that let's go move into a new house. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit. Don't care about anything, roof and all those things. I don't want to care anything about for next 5-10 years or 20 years. If that's your case, then just go for construction. But if you want to add some value, resale is the best one. Hey, you all told me I need to wait 2 years, but is there any other way? Maybe cylinder. Yes, sir. Always there are ways. That I didn't tell you to wait. I said go talk to the brokers. Go talk to the brokers. Someone will tell you yes. Because that's what happened with my first property. I didn't have my permanent residency. I was on work permit and my permanent residency was under process. A lot of lenders told me no. And I talked to different lenders. Finally, one broker said, yes, this lender will give you for 5% down. That's how I was able to pull it. What can I do if I only have enough 5% for down, but not enough for renos to add value? I don't have any line of credits or anything. I'm able to get HELOC right away. Brother, HELOC you get when you have equity in your property. When you're buying for 5% down, you don't have any equity right away. Go borrow money from your friends. Go borrow money from your family if you want to do renovations. But most of the times, if your mortgage amount qualifies, you might even get money from the bank for improvements, for renovations. 5 to 10%, a lot of lenders will give you if you qualify for it. Yes, you missed mine about partnering. Partnering, where is that? I missed it. Sorry about that. Can you repeat the question? I couldn't find what's the question was regarding partnering. Yeah, sorry, brother. Please repeat the question. I couldn't find it. I still couldn't find it. It's maybe somewhere hidden somewhere. I'm going to call you tomorrow when you will be. Please DM me, or I have my website link somewhere in the chat. Schedule a call with me. There is my calendar in there. So you can see my calendar link there. Just go and schedule a call with me if you're looking to invest in Windsor. Yeah, after 2 to 3 years, expect price to go up or drop. Maybe stabilize like Toronto. I think it might stabilize because, like London, Toronto, most of the bigger cities right now, they're like not going down, because when people still moving into the cities, especially immigrant, what's happening in Canada, overall, the Canada is booming because Trump is saying no for immigrants, whereas Canada is welcoming immigrants like us, like me. A lot of people, we bring so much value in terms of economy for the country, and they're helping us to have a better life here. So that's win-win, solid win, and they're welcoming more immigrants, more qualified immigrants who are coming and working hard here. So I think either they will stabilize or they might, but over the period, inflation kick in, that's another thing. Over the period, like over 10, 20 years, damn sure properties will be different price, but they might stabilize. What would be the best way to contact you? Best way to contact me, Instagram or Facebook, DM me. Hello, what would you suggest TK study real estate? Humber College, that's where you can get your real estate course. 10% down with partner. One partner starting in the property. That's a typical, that's a very difficult one to answer, because I don't know who the partner is. And again, the lender has to be satisfied. The CMHC insurer has to be satisfied. He has to believe that you guys genuinely moving into that property, both together, or else they don't lend you. So I would say that question is for a mortgage broker. Sit with a mortgage broker. That's a unique situation. Again, they have to look at your partner profile as well and your profile and see where both of you are. I know some people did get that. They genuinely, were looking to buy together and live in, each individual units. They were able to get it. So it's possible. Just find out. For burst strategy in Windsor, are you able to pull out 100%? Yes, I was able to in most of the properties, and some of them not. One property I couldn't able to, but I pulled out like 80% at that time, and now appreciated, and I pulled out most of the money on my second refinance after 2 years. So yes, right now still most likely you can, because the market also appreciating quite drastically in months. Like literally in this year it's 30% appreciation. So yes. So guys, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for hopping on. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, feel free to share it with people whom you think this can help. Thanks for all the love, and have a wonderful evening.